And let me explain here that I and the other neighbor that had already been looking are basically the only two neighbors that know what summer looked like. Um, the other neighbor that joins Candace and them, even though they're connected, whereas her and I really aren't, nor is the other one, but he has visual too, and because the kids play on that side of the hill and it's more clear than. And because, Candace and I talk to them and they are out in a place where, like, they know all of us, what everybody looks like. So that's why, and they're some of the best neighbors you could ever want, guys. I don't care what the media tells you. Uh, Everybody in there ain't crazy. Most people are good. Seriously, like, there's retired veterans, there's ex-police, like, like, hospital workers, and there's only like 11 or 12 of us in there, right? And, like, like, there's not what it's being made out to be. Like, everybody's pretty quiet. We were the youngest, but had the least traffic of anybody, and I mean this sincerely, like, not even my family came there, which part of that was what, we were going through separately there. But also, I just don't like visitors either. Kind of a homebody, but, it was definitely part of the abuse I'd been through there, and that they'd been through there for a decade. So, we had the least visitors of anybody, even though we were the youngest. But any neighbor in there, if you ask them something's gonna have your back. Midnight, noon, didn't matter. Like, these are good people. So anyway, and hardworking people. I have postal workers in there. I mean, you name it, it's not what you think it is. Like, out of just like 12, school worker, it's not what you think it is. So anyway. So I'm on my way, like I said, back to the start of Ben Hill at where it meets the main road. And I think the third car's coming in, the police car. It was an SUV, whatever it was, and I stopped him. It was like I heard a scream, whatever. And they said, okay, they take kind of note. Everything's going so quick, moving so fast at that point. But other neighbors are coming in, and they ask us and other ones, what she looks like. We describe her. We tell them where we've already searched. Most of those neighbors knew about, tracks as well, so try to keep that down. So then things start just obviously going from there. And, yeah, I think it best that I don't speak really on, the things after that period, or, just because of, just, I think the main events right there in those first few moments and hours are what matter the most. There's nothing really afterwards that, because most of that pertains to, search crews and, obviously the main parts of and what follows after a situation like this. I can tell you that some of us had a hard time because we had already, like, spread the word. The word was out, and everything was kind of searched before even, like, we all knew the properties well enough to know where. And to look at all of ours quickly enough to know that, and we all get it, we understand. But yeah, I mean, there were things, like the tree cutters came back in and stuff, like starting the next morning, and for almost the entire time period, even search crews and stuff were in there. Mail was cut out though, and trash was cut out for 10, 12 days, something like that. The tree crew started back the next morning though. And we all kind of worried if they were, like, accidentally destroying evidence or moving scents or things like that. And we didn't really understand. I don't think we still do as a community. There were things with that made us uncomfortable, including at one point, like, I went down but for like the third time. Now, mind you, we all had to show ID to get in and out of there. For weeks, you weren't coming and going unless you had. And for the most part, you weren't coming or going anyway, because you were on property. It was search crews and teams, and dogs came through to search the houses and the buildings and the properties. And, it was literally one crew after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next. And I mean that sincerely, day in and day out, for weeks and weeks, plus the helicopter overhead and the drones, and it was. But these tree crews were in there. I think the number of them had gone down quite a bit. But they had finally started on this piece of property and in the right of way at a point, and we noticed weird stuff. So I was sitting down once again to remind them that wood needed to be left laying, and there were some weird questions like, how old's your daughter? And them cutting in on a spot that had already been cut that didn't make sense to me. And then right behind the question about my daughter's age, I felt uncomfortable. Could have just been sensitive subject. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Right behind it was another guy that joked about how they could take off with and be gone. Not summer in particular, but how that job would be perfect for something like that. I was like, maybe the guy just has no filter. I don't know. Like, that's real inappropriate. But it wasn't. I think that same day they asked them to leave from in there. And there was some issues with that, but they stopped letting them in. So anyway, but I'm not sure that and I'm just saying that seems to be how that transpired, because I complained, not even sorry. So anyway, other than that, I'm not really gonna say much otherwise. I have watched, I know that part of the thing is, like Candace not crying, not doing whatever, and I don't think it would, look, y'all, I've seen her in person. I talked to her, just talked to her last night or this morning. Can't remember which. It was one or the other, though. But, she was crying then. She really does sincerely want Summer found. And I don't think it would matter whether she was crying or not. I think everybody would eat her alive. I understand how the optics look. I understand how I get it. I get it just like you all do, you know? Um, and I understand part of the issue. Like, at first was the past tense language, before it was even heard out from you all. I mean, like, first night I heard it, and it didn't bother me because, I think that what people who live in maybe the suburbs or easier lives, you know, they're kind of projecting, but when you live the lives of people like this, or have gone through some of the things or had the past that Candace and things have had, or, you know, or like us, I mean, you learn how to, and sometimes maybe you seem a little, you know, it's more reality based than, and so I think somewhere you already think the worst, or you think, or it's hard to have hope when you've lived a hard life. Um, or maybe as parents, even though it's hard for some of us to admit openly and in public, it's, as a parent, which do you hope for? Right? I mean, you don't want either, obviously. You don't want either. Um, your best case, like you hope all those days, right? You hope that it's just got mad, wandered off, or broke a leg, or stuck, or something, right? That's your best case. But then, if they're taken, I mean, let's be real, these people don't take these children to Disney World, guys. And they're either kept and tormented, or they're tormented and it's over. And as people who've lived harder lives, I don't, you know, I don't fault them for using past tense. And I know they still have hope. I know Candace does. I know we all do. And I know she cries for that baby. And I know she wants her home. Just like I know she misses her sons. So, anyway, yeah. I will be back.